Okay, today I got for you one of these 2003 to 2007 GM Chevy truck instrument clusters. Nothing too special about this rebuild. It's just got a dead, the screen's dead there, and he wants some LEDs installed. But I figured I'd go ahead and just shoot this from start to finish now that I got a new camera that's a little more high quality. And just, it's been a while since I've done one from start to finish, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into this. So let's get this cover off and get the needles taken off of here. I've already powered it up, but I'll go ahead and show it to you what it's doing. So we have this screen's not coming on, and it looks like all the stepper motors are probably good, but we're going to get it all the way apart and just go ahead and replace all the stepper motors anyways, because that's how I do my rebuilds, and then we'll call this one a day after that. Got the lens off. As we can see, somebody has been in here before. Guess I don't have to pick it up anymore because I now have zoom. So we have a fingerprint on there, and we have some damage to the screen there. So somebody's been inside of this instrument cluster before, but we'll get back to it. This one already has all X27s throughout on it. That's some scrape damage. Oh yeah, these new bulbs. Looks like they only replaced the one bulb, and they didn't do a very good job of soldering it on there. And it's a cheap bulb, so it's already covered in magnesium or whatever that is. Blocks them off. So let's show you what's wrong here. So yeah, see, still a good bulb, but you're not going to see it because of all that silver stuff on there. And there we go. So just the common resistors that are giving you the problems for this screen. So solder all those guys back down, and that should really fix most of those problems. We're going to go put in all LEDs, and even though this already has X27s in it, I'm going to put some brand new ones in here because he's paying for it, so might as well go ahead and do it while we're in here. Let's go ahead and flip this over and take a look at the bottom. You always want to check it if somebody else has worked on it. We'll go ahead and zoom her in here. So we can see we got some pretty nasty solder joints here, and looks like all the rest are okay. There's possibly a missing pad underneath this one. This one looks a little like it's seen better days, so we'll go ahead and get these all off of here and take a look and see what else we find. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom her in down here. We can see we have two missing solder pads here. So yeah, had a pretty good idea that one was missing, but I didn't notice it until I started pulling up the solder. That one was missing too. You can always kind of tell if the solder pads are missing if you're looking you're looking at the leg sticking up, and it's just kind of the solder's just blobbed up around the leg, but doesn't look like it's actually kind of sunk into the board at all. So you don't get that kind of peak look to it. It just kind of looks like a ball. So that's always a good indicator that it's missing a leg. I mean, not missing a leg, sorry, missing a solder pad on the board from somebody else trying to repair it. So you'll get to see two jumpers run on here, and then let's go ahead and get all of these old bulbs off while we wait for that text message. So let's zoom this back out. And I'm not really sure how they scratched that right there, but they gave it a good little scratch. And then there's no need to replace any of these three bulbs unless they're actually dead for some reason. They just rarely go out. Their duty cycle is just such a short amount that we rarely see them burn out. I've never seen a dead, what is this, the cruise control light. Um, but I have seen them on boards where people have replaced them and did a crappy job soldering them down and then they didn't work. So no need to replace these three. Let's go ahead and put some flux down and reflow all these common solder points. And the guy said this was an 05. It clearly is an 05 because it's got the voltage regulator over here, but still has the VFD for the park reverse neutral. So if it was a 06 or 07, it would have the LEDs like sit here, and then if it was a 03 or 04, it wouldn't have the little voltage regulator. Alright, so let's go ahead and reflow these solder joints. We're just going to hit all of these common problem areas over here. Get the fan going. Let's zoom it in a little bit more so that way you can get a better idea of what I'm doing. Alright, so that's it for the basic solder work there. So we just reflow these guys over here, which are the power for your VFD. And then these guys are various different power areas. The diodes here are diodes for the the 12 volts in plus the ignition in, which is also 12 volts. But yeah, if you're not powering up at all with one of these 05 and ups, a lot of times you just run into one of these diodes has come loose on the board. If your screen's not coming on, it's going to be these guys. I also just went ahead and tinned all of my spots for my LEDs. And I'm just waiting on an email back so that way I can go ahead and start putting the LEDs on here, and then I can put the stepper motors back on, well, the new X27 stepper motors on, and that'll be it for this one. It'll be a pretty quick repair. Okay, so customer finally decided on an LED, so let's go ahead and get these soldered on here. Okay, we got all the LEDs on there, so let's go ahead and put these new stepper motors on. And don't forget, we're going to have to run jumpers here. So let's go ahead and zoom in so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so now we have all of our stepper motors on here, and I've run the two jumpers, so let's go ahead and give this a test. Okay, so now we need to set our needles back on here. So we're going to power it up. We're going to let the motors sweep to their home position, give them just a second to stop moving, and then just set them right where they're supposed to go, and push them back down. Go ahead and set them all this way. Alright, now that we have them all set, we'll turn it off. Move all the motors over. Verify again that they still sweep. Okay, and we got a good sweep out of all of them. Looks like the tack is set a little bit low, but this tachometer is definitely a little bit low, and the water temp's just a hair low, so set those again. So turn it off. I'll normally just bring it over and try to sweep it to where it needs to be, and if that doesn't work, then I'll just take it off and try again. Alright, so now I set them both high, so I'm just going to pop them all the way off and try setting them again. First I want to show you a couple of things. So as it boots up, you can see that it just goes straight to the odometer. It doesn't say unknown driver, so we know that the vehicle that this is in does not have steering wheel controls. The next thing we can go through is the trip button is working, and this one only has the one trip in the odometer and then the engine hours. Some of them have two trips, some have personal and business on there. So then let's go ahead and show the this one's the tacho, if I remember it. Yeah, white's tacho. It's just a little square wave to ground. Quick little test there is to just pulse it real quick. And then you can do the same thing for speedo. Just pulse it real quick and it'll come to life. It's kind of the quick and easy way to do it, but you can also just wire it into a signal generator and get the good signal out of it. And then we'll wire in this guy right here, which is the box that I've shown in another video up top on my workbench, that it's just an ECU in a box with a couple of rheostats and potentiometers to set the different settings. But I gotta reboot it for those to start working. So let's go ahead and turn it off, turn it back on, and we should get like engine overheat and stuff. I believe I have it set yet. So we are in that area. So yep, engine overheat. And then let's just go ahead and turn down the coolant, make sure it's actually working, and we can turn down the fuel and oil pressure. So it responds. I don't have a body control module sitting in the box, so that's why you don't have a volt reading on here, but that's just because of my test bench. So all of the gauges are working, so we have no issues here. This is a completely done rebuild, start to finish, and yep, that's all there is to it. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. But yeah, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.